Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this very important meeting. Artificial intelligence is transforming every aspect of our economy and our society, as we well know. From energy and communications to national security and healthcare, AI presents extraordinary opportunities. I am very interested in healthcare and chair of the health subcommittee. So I want to give you an example. HealthFlow. HealthFlow is a company that is applying artificial intelligence to transform the diagnosis and treatment of coronary artery disease, which kills 1 in 5 Americans. This is significant. Using a standard CT scan of the heart, HeartFlow's algorithms can determine blood pressure and flow in the coronary arteries, allowing physicians to determine the severity of disease and whether invasive treatment is needed. In fact, HeartFlow's technology has proven to decrease the rate of heart attacks and save the Medicare program more than $3,100 per patient. Our job as lawmakers is to make sure the U.S. continues to lead in AI innovation while protecting American values like data privacy, reliable infrastructure, and fair competition. Mr. Smith, Dr. Smith, I want to ask you, startups play a crucial role. We all know that. They play a crucial role in driving innovation in the technology ecosystem. How can we avoid creating regulatory structures that only large companies with extensive legal teams and lobbying power can navigate?
I agree with the premise of your question, sir. The innovation that's occurring in startups is phenomenal. You see completely new techniques using AI. A typical example would be cancer scoring, right, where you have a bunch of things. I'm part of the Mayo Clinic board and so forth, and they're spinning out startups to do precisely this, so it can be done. We need to have the entire ecosystem of venture capital and so forth behind the image that you described.
Exactly, and not just where the bigger companies are the ones who are doing
And
this.
may I add that some of that is actually the data problem that Mr. Wang keeps talking about. Many of the startups cannot get the data that they need for various regulatory reasons. A simple example would be that if you had opt out of privacy things for healthcare, that people could, for research, that you could have research pools, then you could accelerate that. There's a whole bunch of approaches there that are reasonable trade-offs.
Okay, let's talk about the role that AI is going to play in developing new treatments and cures, and we know that's going to be the case. How should lawmakers be thinking about integrating AI tools into HHS and CMS and FDA to create a more efficient process like quicker drug approvals?
The biggest problem with drugs is the phase 3 trial cost and the
Exactly.
timing. I'm involved with a startup that has a new approach using AI to simplify that. We'll see if my startup is successful or not. The current model is static and unchanging. It's not informed by data. A simple regulatory change to allow better analytics around how you prove that the thing is phase 3 trial would deliver drug in years ahead of time. And years is lives ahead of time.
And we all understand this could be a great benefit. I mean, this could be a game changer with diagnosing, with making sure that we're doing the right treatments. AI in healthcare is going to be phenomenal. I'm very optimistic about that, but it's also going to have some downfalls and some things that are dangerous that we need to really guard against. But we've heard a lot of promise about how it can cut costs and how it can increase efficiency within the federal government, especially in some of the organizations like HHS. How should regulators think about contracting with innovators to integrate AI into the regulatory and oversight functions that we have, particularly in Congress?
I'll give you a personal answer. The federal government does a terrible job of procuring software. The federal government does quite a good job of buying hardware. Software is not managed the same way that you manage hardware. Software is never done. It requires constant attention. The teams are constantly turning over. Instead, the federal government purchases specific contracts for specific outcomes with specific teams. It doesn't work in software. In order to achieve your vision, you have to attack the software problem. The reason our government is so incredibly inefficient, in my view, is because it doesn't use software correctly.
It doesn't use software correctly. Have you got an example of that?
Everywhere you look. I mean, if you look at what the tech companies do in terms of integrated software, there's no analog. Every aspect of data in the federal government is insecure. All of them are being attacked by the Chinese and others. The systems are so bad that people have to add layers on top to fix them. Many of the underlying databases,
Good.
COBOL,
thank you very
blah,
My
blah, blah.
time's up. Thank you, and I yield back.
So, Ms.